Hey there, I'm Leanne.
And I'm Lucille.
Welcome to Love and Light, where we talk all things life with our foundation rooted in Jesus.
Just two friends sharing their thoughts, opinions, and experiences. So join us as we take this journey exploring life together.
So today we are going to be speaking about staying positive in the negative world, focusing on mental well-being, relationships, and finding God's peace in the negative. So seeing that we just come out of Mental Wellness Month, and with the world being so negative on our mental well-being, how do you stay positive?
I try not to go onto social media, number one, because I found that I'm constantly trying, or not constantly, but psychologically you see someone that's doing almost better than you, and or they have things that you want, and you almost push yourself to work almost as harder than what you're already working, and then you kind of feel like, but I can't keep up, and then automatically you go through this mental spiral, because now you're not doing enough, you're not okay, you're not where you want to be,
You're not on the beach,
or not even that, but I mean just career wise you're not where you want to be. So then you start thinking of all these things. So I think I just block it out. I try not to go onto social media the first thing in the morning. I give myself time to kind of adjust and set the tone for my day for myself. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah, like I said, social media is, and I've also found that if I maybe open my Bible app, because the problem is my phone is next to me, so the first thing I do is I reach and I grab the phone, and you start scrolling, and you see people on holidays, and you see people catching flights, and then I go, so what am I doing that is not allowing me to do that on a Monday morning? Now I need to get up and go to work. So that does leave a very heavy negative on me, especially on Monday morning when you don't want to get up. So I found that if I do reach for the phone, is to rather look at my Bible app or try not to, like you said, go on social media. But it is hard because we live in such a digital space. That is the first thing we do. We do want to reach for our phone and just quickly check our notifications.
And I think it's also become so easy for especially on the internet, because everything, like you say, has been digitalized. It's so easy for people to just put all their negativity in that one space. So now you're sitting and you're scrolling and you see all these the haters and the comments, or the judgment and the criticizing, and then you think, but what? So I really, really do try. Some days I fail, some days I fail, but I really try not to go onto social media, because that I found for the past couple of days, lately I'm on social media and I can feel my mood just going down, and I'm like, I'm spiraling again.
Because I'm not there, and I'm not doing what she's doing, and I'm not reaching those numbers.
100%. And I mean, look, even with us, we now, with this podcast and stuff, I understand that you put yourself out there, you opening yourself up to be criticized, and for people to judge you, and for people to feel entitled to say whatever they think that they want to say to you. But I just feel like it's so important not to focus on that, and like you say, rather than first thing you on your Instagram app or on your WhatsApp, try and find, go on your Bible app and start reading something. Because I know, like I said, with me, one eye's even open and I'm there. Instagram,
I got a like here.
How many likes, how many followers am I losing today?
And like you said with the podcast, so it has been I go to the analytics, I'm like,
exactly,
watch the video.
You see,
and unfortunately we do that to ourselves, because we know that instant, not gratification almost, but it is you want to know what are people thinking, what are they seeing.
You almost seek validation from that. You almost okay, but am I getting enough likes? Am I
put it out there? So now you're looking at
exactly, because you want, it's like a sense of accomplishment. You want to do well in whatever you're doing, but it's so, I don't know, man. I saw on, you see, with TikTok, me personally, I've decided I don't want nothing to do with TikTok. I understand that business wise, creative wise, it's an amazing platform, it goes out, but mentally, no. I think TikTok,
and there's a lot of negativity on TikTok,
and TikTok, in my opinion, has become way worse than Twitter, because people don't care. I sat on TikTok in the week scrolling and people just say the things and they
say
don't
some
care.
very shocking things.
And
And it's
I'm
like,
like-
how do you have the because you're a keyboard warrior, you can.
Yes.
That is why.
Exactly.
So yes, I agree with you. Is for your mental well-being in the morning, I agree. Stay
Yeah,
off social
no.
media. Don't, maybe look at it at lunchtime.
Yes.
But
Yes.
try and do something maybe a little bit more positive in the morning. Even if, okay, I know some people aren't Christian and whatever, and they're not going to open their Bible app. But then rather pick up your book that you're busy
Yes.
reading if you really need to do something the minute you open your
Yeah,
eyes.
like be productive, like do something constructive. I mean, if it's work out. If you want to go for a walk, go sit outside, go catch.
But you have your coffee looking at the tree, the one tree that you have in your yard.
It's important, set the tone for your day, because now you're on social media and you're seeing, oh, okay, what happened this, what happened there, or you're seeing groove and you weren't there, now it's like FOMO. Now you already feel like you're missing out on something and your day has been set. Now you're carrying that around with you the entire day thinking, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. I should have been there.
And with that, having that mental block or that mental insight, that then takes you into your relationships.
Yeah.
Because now you've seen something pop up on your phone. It does affect your mood, or it does affect how you were planning to run your day.
Yes.
So then how does that take you into a relationship with your colleagues, your husband, your family? What changes there? Like, can that negativity impact that relationship, or does it have a positive effect?
Look, relationships, it's a two-way thing, right? And like you said, if your mood has already been shifted, you're gonna carry that with you. So obviously, if you're now frustrated and mad at yourself, like nobody did anything to you, you're just mad because you feel unfulfilled in what you're doing, or that you're not there, or that you can't do a certain thing or whatever. So then I think we human, it's natural for us to carry those feelings wherever we go, and we project those feelings onto the people around us. So I think in that sense, in a relationship, it does have a negative impact, because then also how do we expect our partners to just take it? It's almost like saying, okay, I'm gonna dump on you because
you're here,
you're my friend, or you're my husband, or
you'll be fine.
You must just take it and just move on with it. And I think that's so toxic in its own, because why then do we expect somebody else to take our unresolved emotions or feelings, but then if it's reciprocated, it's like, no, but you can't do this, So I think in that context, it does have a very negative impact. But also, I think, again, social media and society has created this
There's a
narrative,
couple goals kind of thing.
but there's a narrative even apart from that. It's like, it's such a negative narrative of being in a relationship, because but why must you settle down if you can't trust someone, because they're probably cheating. So people have this mindset, well, cheat or be cheated.
Yes.
Or
keep the cheater,
Yeah.
because who you gonna find to love you in this way?
Exactly. So there's so many negative things because of what society has deemed okay,
The standard or acceptable.
that now people are just like, okay, yeah, I no, anything but monogamy,
Yes.
So I just feel like, if you're in a relationship, be mindful that it is a relationship. It how you feeling and projecting your feelings onto your partner, it's not really the best tone that you're setting for your relationship. It's not always the best environment if that person has to then try and put yourself in that person's shoes. If they were to do it to you, how would you feel? But then also, if you're not in a relationship and you're single, looking at but I can't be in a relationship because it's December now. Who wants to be tied down?
I
Who
wanna go
wants
party
to tie?
and I don't need someone holding
nobody
me.
can tell me what to do, where to go. And that's great that you're independent, but being in a relationship doesn't necessarily mean that you lose your independence.
No, it doesn't mean that your partner is gonna control you.
Yes.
And that's not a relationship to be in. Then if the person is going, why do you want to go for breakfast with your friend?
What are you waiting?
I'm so sorry.
No. Yeah, but again, you see, society has deemed certain relationships like okay because if that's what's happening, they probably love each other so much
So
that they
much
can't
that
let
you
go.
can't.
No, that's toxic.
No.
Like, let it go.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be in a relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's a marriage.
That you feel that you can't be yourself
Exactly.
or live life.
Exactly.
If that person is making you feel bad for wearing a crop top or going for brunch and having a mimosa, and if that person looks at you and goes, oh, why are you doing, then those are not relationships
No.
you should have in your life. You
No.
need people that are going to build you up, that are going to be there to be positive in your
Yes.
life. I mean, the world is already filled with so much negativity. You don't need the people closest to you
No.
judging you when everybody else is already doing that.
And look, all these type of like relationship narratives, I think that also plays such a big part on mental wealth, like on our mental health or our mental states. Because I mean, if you're single and you're seeing all of this, it's like, but
Missing out.
I shouldn't. So you kind of, you don't allow yourself to enjoy being with somebody because you're seeing all these negative, narratives of what a
that's what
relationship or
relationships
how
are
it's
happening.
supposed to be. And I mean, if you're dating somebody, again, you're looking at, but this couple is relationship goals and I'm missing that. So again, it
I need
plays-
to be working to be
Yes,
this, and I
exactly.
need to. So you put so much pressure
Exactly,
on yourself
exactly.
to be on like this perfect path, so that you're not wasting your time or losing out. And I think that's where people miss the idea of getting to know somebody and seeing where it goes and trusting
Yes.
that God has brought this into your life. And if He hasn't, He will make that relationship so unbearable that you know it's not meant for you. And I also think for single people, they rush to get into relationships. I mean, I've heard so many horror stories about dating apps, and because people want to feel that connection, because there's so much negative, you're looking for that little bit of, I need someone that's going to be in my corner. And it's
That
not
little bit of comfort.
Yeah, you're looking for that little bit of comfort. Yet we forget you don't have to have a relationship
Yeah.
to have that. Build your friend circle then if that relationship isn't coming.
But it's also like, love yourself, bro. Like, you really don't need somebody in your life to be okay, or to like look at yourself as better. Love yourself. I think, honestly speaking, you need to love yourself before you can get into a relationship. And this whole thing of like, oh no, but find a rich guy, find a sugar daddy that's gonna pay the bills because relationships are ghetto. No, you ghetto. That entire mental, it's ghetto. Grow up. At some point you need to grow up, but love yourself. And I think a lot of people struggle with loving themselves. That's why they find them in, whether it's toxic relationships, abusive relationships, whether it's, being single and not wanting to commit to someone because commitment
of
is the
all
biggest,
that,
the biggest no-no of all time, because you don't love yourself. So self-love, babes.
And
Self-love.
it does, because the thing is, how do you expect to give in a relationship if you can't even give to yourself? And that's
Exactly.
in relationships in general. If you have a friend that you constantly have to have with you wherever you go, that's also unhealthy, because then you can't be in a social setting without that person. That's unhealthy for you as a person, because you need to be able to say, I'm going to walk in this room and I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be able to be okay. But I think it also then goes back to finding God's peace in that negative. Because for us as Christians, we're supposed to be living in that peace. So how do you then find His peace in that negative?
Going to church, listening to me, Christian music, just meditating on the word, just reading your Bible, and just, even if it's a devotional, just finding something that grounds you to Jesus, finding something that is so solid that you have no doubts about, okay, this is, it's giving me comfort, it's exactly what I need to hear, and it's feeding me. I feel so fed, if I must say, because I think that's the only thing that I can think about that's for me.
Especially because we suffer from anxiety and we, get very anxious in new spaces and places. I have found that when I know I'm going somewhere new, it would just be, Lord, I'm going. Just help me, come, calm me. I can do this because I know you leading. And it is looking at listening for his voice. I think it also comes down to that. With whether it's your mental well-being going where you know in the morning you shouldn't be opening that app, just listening for his voice in a relationship, a friendship, at work, saying to him, like, should I continue this conversation? Should I be entertaining this? Because he will. He'll give you those signs in any space that you go into. Especially for us that's on this journey with him. It's when we look out for his signs, his word in anything that we are doing. Because God is with us wherever we're going. 100%. So he's gonna always say to you, Lucille, what are you doing? You know, you're gonna feel that.
Honey,
it's like,
look,
why are we doing that now?
I think you need to come back this side. Yeah.
And I think it is just taking the time to bring him into those situations. And for me going, I know everything is so negative out there. I know relationships are hard. But how can I find his grace and his positivity in it if it's meant to be?
Yeah.
But we don't always have to then stay in something if it's making us uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like Pastor Norman said in his last sermon, the minute our peace is disrupted, that's when we know this is not for us. And I think as Christians, that's what we need to focus on. So is there anything that you want to wrap up on our 3 points for today?
Just that, you know, just remember to take the time to ground yourself. If it's, whether it's relationships, whether it's, I mean, you know, if you feel that your mental health is not okay, or you're not okay mentally, or you're not in a good space and you're very triggered and you're very on edge, just take the time, meditate, whether it's reading your Bible, and if you're not, you know, saved, or if you kind of hesitant about that, just have quiet time, you know, take time to yourself to just kind of reflect and be okay again.
Yeah, I think we need to not rush everything. We need to learn to slow down. Yes, the world is fast-paced in everything that we do, but we need to remember that it's okay. You're allowed to take your time.
Yeah, and find what's good for you, you know, like find your groove, find where you want to be and stick to that. You don't have to be in competition with anybody but yourself. The only person that you need to work against, you know, like work on yourself to be better than who you were yesterday or last week. And I think that's what we just need to remember, that we're not in competition with anybody, but we working to better ourselves in any regard, whether it's, like I said, relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's, I mean, just on your own, whether it's social media, what you're seeing or what you're doing professionally. You're not in competition with anyone. It's you yourself. You are unique, and nobody can do what you're doing. There's no two of you, you know. And I think that's what we need to remember.
Yeah, and to take the pressure off yourself. That it's okay if you haven't reached that spot in your career yet. You know what? You will get there. But don't feel rushed because now Lucille has reached this point. So now I feel like I need to. And just to remember that we are our own people. We will get there in our own time, in our own space. And that's okay. Yes, the timing is always important. I saw a quote the other day that said, "The win will come, don't worry about the win."
Yeah.
And that for me was so like, you know, that is so God, because God is saying to you, you've already won, but don't worry about when you know you're gonna win. I've got that. I've planned that. I'm coming. And we do. And for people that are out there that are going, but I'm so depressed because I haven't reached things, it's okay. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is to remind people that you are okay where you at, and you will get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was
beautiful.
Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Love and Light. If you've enjoyed it, please leave us a comment on whichever platform you are watching. We'd love to know what you thought about today's episode.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe and give us a follow on our social media platforms. Our handle is @LoveandLightPod. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.